everybody, and welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing Rich's Fright Farm. Also, keep an eye out because we already have a review for Haunted Hills Estate, and there will also be coming reviews for the Scare House and the 100 Acre Manor coming up in the next couple days here. Unless you're not watching this in the future, then they're probably already all up. Yay, you! So this is we've been to Rich's Fright Farm a couple years. Last year, if you watched the review, we were blown away by it. We weren't sure if we were going to make it to this one or not, but they were open pretty early on in the season, so that was the main thing. We're like, you know what? It was really, really fantastic last year. We want to go check it out again this year. So we made a night out of it in Haunted Hills Estates. Before we begin the actual review, the normal things, make sure you're liking and subscribing, leaving a comment, letting us know what you think about the video, and if you've been to the haunt, what you think about it. If you're going to go, are you excited? Any haunts you might recommend to us, we appreciate that. Also, we have that thing, that super thanks enabled now, so it's basically giving us a tip. We super appreciate that. Helps support us because, again, we're a smaller channel, don't make much money off of this. We also have a Patreon where you can get like fun little things like gift bags and stuff sent to you for doing that, but really it's just there to help support us in the show. And we also, if you watch our videos, we have a merch line with the skull ball, but now we have one that has a really cool, like the pumpkin stacks here, but they're like pretty much hand-drawn looking, and it has our logo, and then on the back of the shirt in Japanese it says Haunt Talk, and you can purchase it as like a shirt, a hoodie, a bag, a cup. I'm sure I'd have a screen here showing you all of it up. So super excited about that. Like the way it turned out. Hopefully you guys do as well. And buying that, of course, directly supports us as well. But now that we've said all that, I think we'll get into the review. What does that mean, Kim, when we are going to do a review?
Do we have to look at the book of something? Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. We have to look at the
Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Alright, so let's go ahead and get started, and Kim will kick it off with starting us off with sets and props, as always.
Yay! Sets and props. So this place is like uber sets and props. Like so many. I
just can't believe this place exists. And I know we said this in the last review too, but like, if you haven't been there, it's just kind of mind-boggling how much there is.
It's crazy. Like, just, and most of it is handmade. Like, they might take, they might take like some like store-bought things, but they like kind of make it their own kind of stuff.
It's definitely what it seems like.
Yeah. So to start off, you actually walk into a midway. I think we've mentioned this before in our reviews, but you walk into a big midway, and when you buy your ticket, you're just given were they doing numbers?
Yeah, they were doing numbers. Like, we got there right at close. Now, we did get the express pass, what they call it there.
Yeah.
We got those, and I think those basically let you bypass the number system or something. I think you just choose to enter.
You just go whenever.
So it's like a little line.
Okay.
But if you do general, there'll be a little line at the end, but for the most part, you're free to explore the midway. Mm-hmm. And they have I think there was 3 or 4 escape rooms.
There's 4 escape rooms, and they went in different levels. There was like easy, medium, hard.
Yeah.
They had like old timey like carnival games, like where you throw a ball at cans.
They had an axe throwing thing, which is all the rage now.
They had a Wheel of Misfortune, which, Yeah,
we played that. We got eat bugs twice. I wouldn't eat the bugs. One of the haunt actors had me feed him bugs, and the one kid that was with us, he ate a lot of mealworms. I think that's what those were.
Yeah.
Yeah, gross.
They were crunchy.
He ate them all. He didn't seem to mind. Yeah, it was nasty. A little couple of them. They also have like coffin rides and stuff like that. We did that. We didn't do the coffin rides. We did the Wheel of Misfortune. We did one of the escape rooms. Escape room was a lot of fun. They're 5-minute escape rooms because they wouldn't want to do them long. Because again, if you're waiting in line, you wouldn't want to be like a 30-minute escape room. And
right. Be like, oh, wow, it's already, And
it works by you basically purchase tickets, and then you use those tickets. Like, each thing will say, like, this many tickets to do this game.
Yep.
So, I love that. It's a great way for the haunt to make money.
Yes.
And it's a great way for patrons to not be bored.
Yeah.
Because there's games to play, and there's also plenty of food options. We had We were given pizza at the end, and I think it's the pizza they serve there.
Yes, he
really
said
good,
that he got
actually.
a pizza from the Midway.
Ah, so get the pizza if you like pizza. It's really good pizza. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I did not expect this to be so good. And their gift shop is really
their
cute.
gift shop is really
cute.
awesome.
So I highly recommend going there and checking stuff out, because what else you got to do? You're not waiting in line.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted to mention the Midway, and I think certain nights will have performers there as well, because there's a big stage.
There was a band that was just finishing up when we got there.
Like at closing.
Yeah, and then they also have a lot of queue line actors that are just kind of walking around and, you know, interacting with people. Like there were some chainsaw people, there were some girls that were like screaming up at people and stuff like that.
They were getting people real good. It was Midway is a lot of fun. But if you're unaware of what this haunt is, it is a hayride that then drops you off at this big ass mansion. And then you basically weave in and out, and we're going to kind of go in steps here, but you basically weave in and out of the mansion and outside areas.
Yes.
Is how it's set up.
Right.
So first thing was the hayride.
The hayride.
Now, this is one area, and again, we go to so many haunts. Sometimes I think things are new that aren't. Mm-hmm. But there's some things that I'm sure were new. It seemed like the opening thing was at least different or improved.
Yes, I think it was improved because I do not recall the skeletons actually moving when they talked.
Yeah, and maybe they did. I don't remember for sure, but
I don't know.
They look better than I remember. Maybe nothing's different at all. I could be wrong, but you pass by a graveyard. There's a really cool scene where there's like a church that they have that looks like it's burning.
Yeah, that's really cool. A lot of different barns on the way through the hayride as well. One of the first ones we went through was a Christmas barn.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's not Christmas.
Yeah, well, it's Christmas, but they lock you in there and it snows on you. Yeah. That was really cool. And then you get attacked by chainsaw people. Yeah. We'll talk more about that in actors. But yep, so that was fun. There's a cool like little train scene. There's like train tracks up. And I'm pretty sure it was the same as last year, maybe a little bit modified. There's another barn, I think a little fire show.
Yeah. That was really cool.
And there's like these guys with spark wands. Yeah,
they were doing spark wands. They were kind of doing like almost like a stomp kind of thing with the fire and the spark wands and stuff. And it was really cool. It was loud. They had like metal music going and stuff like that. There is a giant
Kim loves these
vortex tunnel. See, this is if you've watched our likes and dislikes, you know that we're not a big fan of vortex tunnels unless you're on a hay wagon. Yeah. It's so disorientating. It's like you're sitting there and literally I feel myself doing this.
Yeah, you do.
Because it just keeps spinning and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall over because you can't control it. There's nothing really for you to hold on to make it like not do that because you're relying on the person that's driving the hay wagon to go through it. And of course, they stop in the middle of it and just let us sit there for a couple minutes and you're like, oh god, I'm gonna puke.
Yep. After that there's like kind of like I think it's like a toxic waste themed area. And then there's a bunch of things we didn't mention, but there's like a ton of buildings and just like little sets throughout the hayride. We can't talk about everything that's there or this will be a way too long. The video will be as long as the haunt. And I have to edit it. I have to edit like 5 of these things this week, so. Okay, but so after that, then there really isn't any scenes. There's just this like, not real long, but like a little like couple minute drive up to the mansion. You just see it in the distance. Yeah. And the music just turns to like low, like ambient, creepy music because there is a speaker on the hayride, so it's cool. So like the different scenes you go in, like the music will change to kind of fit that tone, which I really like that as well. Hay wagons are also pretty comfortable. There's not hay anymore. They're just benches, which is how it was last year. But it's really so that is nice. But so once you get off for that, you then get in another little queue. You either go to the Fast Pass one or you go to the General. They have a really cool archway this year, which I'm pretty positive is new. Yeah, it looked new to me. I don't remember it. It had like it was these really cool arches with like gargoyles sitting on top of them, and it just was really pretty and really neat. I really like that. So you walk in and you immediately go into the house. Yeah, and like the little like entry area, which is like a staircase and stuff. You don't go up not this staircase, but it's like a foyer or something. And you kind of go in and, you go into different levels of the house and then you go outside. Yeah, well you don't, when you first enter the house, you are not in it for long at all. You go there and you kind of go through a tunnel and now you're outside the cemetery. Yeah. So you go through the cemetery. The cemetery is just fantastic. Like,
I'm pretty sure they built everything that's out there because it's
some of it is like real. Because some of it
looking.
I will like just lightly tap things, and it is real stone. Not all of it, but it's kind of crazy to me that it is real stone. And they have like lights up in the trees to make it. When they have to make it look like it's lightning, and speakers for thunder. One of the creators like said that they may want to eventually add like some kind of like thing to make it like it raining out there. That would be kind of cool, like a light rain. I think that if you like manage to go on a night where it's very lightly raining, it would be even cooler.
Ooh, that would be cool.
But I mean, they even have like a spot where they have it like dug in the ground where you like walk.
Go down into a mausoleum,
The cemetery is just amazing, and it's later on, but there's this really cool, I think it's like an angel statue or something, and they even have the way they have cobwebs all over it.
Yeah, it was
so
really
cool.
pretty, because, there's like numerous ones, and like she's doing something, I don't know, but it was just...
They have some really cool animatronics in the cemetery and stuff. Just overall, their cemetery is probably my favorite cemetery scene I've ever seen because it just feels like an actual cemetery. Because I mean, it's even cobblestone, like or like brick pathway. Yeah, it's all real for the most part. Like, or if it looks so real, you couldn't tell the difference. It's insane. And then after the cemetery, then you kind of explore some other buildings that they've built. And again, it's just crazy how much is back here. There's a slaughter barn you go through.
There's a water mill.
There's like a cage maze, and then
there's like another little shanty house that you go into.
There's a shanty house. There's like this thing that I don't really know what it is, but you walk up these stairs and there's just like it's a real small building, but there's like lots of like they had like the worst scent in there ever. They had so many scents in this place, and it was just like the worst rotting meat scent I've ever smelled in a haunt. So gross. But then you go to like, then there's the water mill. You walk over like little bridges going over little rivers and stuff. There's witches at one point, like they say like kind of some kind of spell, and it shoots fire in the air and it's hidden, so the fire kind of scares you. There's like a guest house, and that's like a little mini haunted house in its own. And then finally, after that, you get back to the cemetery, and that's where you see that cool statue we were talking about earlier. And then you actually go into the mansion. And then the rest of the haunt is, for the most part, focused on being in this thing. And it is so long. It's so
crazy.
Yeah. I think you start in the living room, type, and then you go to a kitchen scene.
Yeah, you start in the living room, and then you work into the kitchen. There's a walk-in fridge that you walk into. There was a really cool scene in there that was, which was strange because it was inside the house, but there was a laser swamp. But then there was this really weird, ethereal.
It was just
blue room
filled with super thick fog, and you couldn't see anything.
It was so
and there wasn't music in there. It was just like this weird like silence because you couldn't hear anything. It was creepy. I think there's usually an actor in there, but there wasn't, which I think made it even more creepy. I don't know. It was just weird.
Because you're thinking that there's going to be somebody in there, so you're like, what is this? Because like the light actually kind of hurt my eyes. That's how bright it was, but it was also like soothing. It was just really weird. It was just probably one of my new favorite things.
Yeah, it was just so simple because like it was cool. And it does stick to the theme of you're in a house for the most part, but it does veer out of that here and there to kind of whatever it wants. Because again, the structure somehow is even bigger feeling than it looks on the outside. It just seems like it never ends. But there's like a cool like library scene. I believe there's the greenhouse is outside. There was a greenhouse we walked through. There's this room, and I don't know if it was a library, but it was like lit green with all this fog, and I think this might have been the library. It smelled, I don't know if this was the scent, but it smelled kind of like cat pee in there. They were pumping some really heavy scent. And there are multiple floors. At one point, you go upstairs and you go into the attic, which is one of the creepiest attic scenes. Yeah, the atmosphere. It's
really
gross,
good job
in
that attic.
And there's just like there's of course your dolls, and you're pushing your way through these like wet feeling clothes. It's just.
I gross. Hate pushing through clothes.
It's nasty.
It's so gross and just like. We were at something else this weekend, and there was so many clothes, and I'm just like, okay, where is the end of the clothes? This is really annoying.
But and then one of the most impressive that definitely is completely new for this year. So there's always like this part where you go like upstairs, and this isn't the attic, like, cause it's weird, because you go back downstairs, and then you go into, like, the basement, and there's a bunch of creepy stuff in the basement, like a boiler room, so many things, so many scenes.
Yeah.
But then you go up these stairs, and you start to smell popcorn, and then, like, you see, like, these movie posters, and, like, you go up the one set of stairs, and it's, like, rope, and you're like, oh, we're going to, like, a theater. And it's hard to exactly describe how this room is set up, but, like, you go up the stairs, and you turn, and you're, like, above, like, the scene's down here, and you're, like, above, and you walk downstairs into the scene.
Yeah.
And I guess they call it the big room, and every year they gut it and make a new scene. Mm-hmm. This is my favorite that I've seen, because it was themed to, like, a haunted movie theater.
It was so neat.
So there's, like, undead ushers, and they have just enough fog in there, so, like, all the flashlights make those beams.
Yeah.
Think of, like, a Steven Spielberg movie, that kind of lighting.
Yeah, like E.T. where they're doing the flashlights.
And they pump popcorn scent in there.
Mm-hmm. There was box seats.
Yep, the box seats.
And there were just sheet ghosts just chilling in the box seats, which was really, really awesome. And there were some in the regular seats and
some were just rocking back and forth. One might have been a real person. And then you go down, like, the usher's completely still, and they're like, right this way, like, right when you get back. There's this one who just had the biggest, creepiest smile. Her smile looked like someone from the movie Us.
Yeah, she was...
She didn't really try and scare her. She still didn't get right in your face, and just the biggest Cheshire cat grin.
Yeah.
And then they actually take you up on the stage, and you walk over, like, a clear floor, and they have, like, this infinity mirror, so it looks like, you know, you're walking on glass, and it's, like, an endless pit beneath you. That was cool. And then the last scene, which I will say, this was probably... I like that it's, like, a wacky, crazy room, but... everything else is, like, so well themed and beautiful, and then, like, the very end of the haunt is, like, almost like a 3D, like a kind of, you don't have glasses, but it's painted kind of like a 3D haunt with like tilt floors, and, like, you know, you have the tilt floors, you're kind of like walking, like, back and forth, and they have, like, the panels that move. It's a real short section. I kind of hope maybe next year they got that part and just put one final really cool scene in there.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's not that well themed. It's mainly black walls and paint, and, like, neon ropes, like, where you get through.
Well, because I remember last year, I believe it was last year when we went, that big room was clowns.
It may have been.
So I think that last little area was still kind of themed towards the clowns in there, because I do remember there being clowns in that room.
Yeah, maybe. But, yeah, I would just like to see that room changed. But overall, though, sets and props are just astounding.
Really good.
We really had no problem in the amount of, like, work and dedication and time that goes into this. I mean, it deserves nothing but a 10, which is what we gave it. Same as we gave it last year, because we actually... think it was a little better than last year with just some things like the Christmas barn where it snows, that theater scene being one of my favorite scenes I've ever seen in a haunted house. And again, the cemetery. So many standouts, but yeah. So next we will get into actors.
All right, so actors. We did find that there was a lot more this year on the hayride than there was previously.
At least, of course, when we visited last year.
Which was nice. Because like the one area that we got, one building and stuff like that, there were tons of people around us. It was just, like, crazy. Yeah,
and, like, there's a lot of zombies and people are following. Mm-hmm. They get up on the wagon, too, which was cool. Yeah,
they do get close. They don't touch, but they do get very, very close. I had somebody swing a chainsaw at me, and I felt it swing past me. It was scary. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get bopped in the face with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
I'm, like, trying to read everything because we already talked about it. So there was also these really cool guys with handheld air cannons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, they weren't like the crazy air cannons, like, but they, like, blow basically fog and air at you.
Yeah.
And they would just go poof and, like, shoot it up at you. It actually felt good because it was, like, cool air and it's kind of a warmer night. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. I liked seeing that. But yeah, overall, just there's quite a few actors on the hayride. We liked that. The only dead area was the cemetery. Yeah, it was weird because I got kind of concerned when we first went. I'm like, oh no. Like, there's going to be not enough actors in the haunt at all. But thankfully, it was just the cemetery. After we got through the first part of that, then there was quite a few actors to the rest of the haunt.
There was a lot, there was a lot. There were really good guys in the slaughterhouse area, which, you know, slaughterhouses are hit and miss sometimes, but they were phenomenal. They were just really good. The voodoo people were really cool. They were somebody that was in like our like group, we kind of caught up with some people and they kept saying that they were speaking Sims.
Yeah. Simile, or there we go. But yeah, because it did kind of sound like she was saying that.
There was really good costuming. Like, the costumes were just phenomenal. Like, they definitely went all out. Really cool.
The chainsaw guy, the one kind of knows us, and he made sure to torment us quite a bit, which he did a really good job. Even when we were like talking to him, never broke character.
Yeah, he never broke character at all.
But yeah, like all of them like were just really good. Kim really liked when you enter the house for like the second time, when you actually go in the main, there was like a girl with a banjo who was trying to give us to like, get tips to a fetus or something, and then she was like following us with a banjo singing a song.
Yeah, she was singing a song, and it's something about going to Dollar Tree, and I don't remember everything that she was saying, but it was just really strange, because she started asking us weird questions, and then she's just picked up a banjo, and she's just strumming along, and not singing very well, but I mean, it was probably part of the thing, but it was really weird and really great.
But a lot of the actors did have really great hiding spots. There's multiple times, because there's three of us, there's one other person that doesn't go to many haunts with us, because we think that's fun to do once in a while, and we made him lead through, I think he led through the whole experience, because that's the nice thing, outside of when you get off the hay wagon to go to the mansion, there's no other lines. Like, there's many different themes and like stuff you go through, but besides that, where they like separate you for the house, there's no other part where you wait. They got him so many times though. I mean, they got me quite a few as well, but it's kind of nice like seeing like somebody else, like just the amount of times. Like towards the end, he was really, you could tell he was getting a little freaked out, because he was kind of like shaking a little bit and just like getting squirrely, like, you know, looking around corners. It's funny. But yeah, no, there is a lot. Now, I mean, they don't touch or anything, so it's not like the most intense, but like they had some great hiding places, and some of them, you know, had the design where they could get you like multiple times as well. And some of them would follow you and talk. Not all of them had dialogue, but there definitely were a decent amount that actually had dialogue and would talk, would kind of stalk you a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I like, sometimes, you know, it's nice when haunts don't just boo and then they're done. It's, you know, they actually have a bit of interaction where they follow you.
Yes.
Like, I mean, and I think we talked about it in sets and props, but maybe I can just cut that part. But there's a really in the theater scene, you know, there was really cool ushers and stuff, and they had the flashlight with the beam. But there was this one girl who looked like straight out of Us. Yeah. She had the biggest smile. She looked like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. Super creepy. And then another one like leads you up onto the one that leads you onto the stage. You know, so she actually moved with you, which was kind of cool. There's a guy as soon as you enter the area that I swore was an animatronic. Me and our friend that was with us like saw him and no idea he was real, and then he like said something and scared us. But yeah, overall the actors are really good. There's just that one dead area in the cemetery, so it's like 3-4 minutes where there just was basically, there was one person in the cemetery, actually, so there was. Now that might be abnormal. It was kind of nice being able to like appreciate the detail a little bit more, since people weren't coming out of the wazoo.
Yeah.
But everything besides that one, they had, I felt, a lot of actors.
Yeah.
So for actors, we gave them a 9.75. Very, very impressive as far as the actors go.
Indeed. All right, so we're moving on to scare factor. Like we said, they had lots of really great hiding spots and lots of jump scares. They do use the boo pedals here, but the actors actually kind of like work with the boo pedal. So you get the boo pedal doing something, and then the actor is usually like saying something or screaming something or whatever. So they're kind of doing like a twofer kind of thing with that, which is good. The atmosphere is really, really awesome.
Yeah, there's all kinds of cool spooky music, and on the hayride and off, you know, in the haunt. So with the cemetery with just that thunder and like it's storming.
Yeah. With the atmosphere, there's smells.
Like we said before, so many smells. It's really gross. A lot of gore in this haunt.
Yes.
Not an overabundance, but like, you know, in appropriate places like the slaughterhouse and stuff, there were some gross things.
Yeah.
So that was really cool if you're into that. Certainly some parts have some Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. Also, there are some decently claustrophobic spots, especially things like in the attic and stuff. You're really just in like tight little areas, and it can be a little freaky.
Yeah, you did have to squeeze through a few areas, I noticed. Very disorientating as well. They had a lot of really good places like that.
Well, particularly the part that's extremely disorienting is it's right after the slaughterhouse. There is this, like, it's not really a maze, but it's like a chain link fence path. And they have like staggered strobe lights. And it really messes with you.
Like, I was trying to, like, reach for him because he was in front of me. And usually if I can't get through something, I'll grab the person in front of me and I'll shut my eyes. I couldn't get to him because my eyes were just so messed up. And I'm like, where is he? Like, am I really this far away from him? And I just couldn't grab his shirt.
Which led to some good scares because like, there's a guy that was sitting in the corner that I legit couldn't see because of the way the strobe light flashed.
It was just
even though it's looking right at him. Yeah. Because they don't touch here or anything like that. But it is pretty decently scary. This isn't one I'd recommend for like younger kids who aren't used to haunts and stuff. No. It's not like super aggressive because again, like the actors weren't like, you know, in some where they just like really scream at you a lot and are just like super in your face. I feel like they aren't in your face that much. Now I know we said they are in the hayride with the chainsaw, but through the house, like they aren't like really bothersome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they're there, but they're not gonna get like up in you. Like,
not as much as some places, but still pretty decently scary. And again, scare factor is always a subjective grade. It doesn't necessarily mean good or bad, low or high, but we gave it an 8.5 because we do think that it is a pretty intense haunt. Yeah. So now on to value.
All right. So for general admission, it's $30. For express pass, it's $65. They also have a season pass for $150. From start to finish, it took us 50 minutes.
Yep, and that's
to get through this
because we didn't wait in the line for the haunt since we had the express. We went right in, so we never stopped. And it took 50 minutes. I think it could take you a little bit longer. It could take you a little bit less as well. Now that's not including the walk back. And there is a scare or two after the haunt ends.
Yeah.
But once we exited the mansion, that is when I stopped.
Yeah.
Stopped the timer. But yeah, I think that you could spend a little bit more time in there. But yeah, very, very long haunt.
Yeah. So for value, we gave them a 10.
Yeah. The Express is pretty expensive. And if you're not trying to do multiple haunts, I don't know if I'd recommend Express because of the fact there's not really much of a line you wait in. Mm-hmm. You can just have fun.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do multiple haunts, I highly recommend doing it. I do like the fact that they have the season pass as an option.
Yes.
If you live nearby, that might be something you'd be interested in because it is just such a long event. There's such a long like haunted attraction and there's so much to do in the midway. Mm-hmm. I think that you could justify spending that money, and because they're open a lot.
Yeah, they were one of the first ones that opened.
They opened, well, when you'll be watching this, they opened 2 weekends ago. We went in the second weekend of operation.
Yeah, so they're open like almost 2 months, 2 full months, and I mean, you never know. Like if you go multiple times, the show might change, and you might get to see like some different stuff. You never know.
And when we judge value, we mainly judge it cost-wise, at least, off of the general admission, because all the other ones are optional.
Yes.
Like, and I think $30 for a 50-minute haunted house with so much variety and such quality is just great value. I would highly, I don't have a problem with what they charge. But that leads us to our overall score, which I don't think is much of a surprise. We did give it a 10, so we gave it last year. Yeah, absolutely. If you are in the area at all, check it out. There's a lot of other haunts that are close to it, especially opening soon. Like I said, Trans-Allegheny, so you'll be able to go to that one. We haven't been to it, but we've heard it's good. Hopefully we'll get to go this year. But yeah, have you been there? What did you think of it? What was your favorite part? Again, all the things we said at the beginning of the video, and check out that new merch. And also make sure to like and subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos, because there should be a decent amount of haunt reviews and stuff coming up. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.